everyone. We're gonna get started. Hello, welcome. Good evening. My name is Eric Chang, and thanks. And in a previous life, I was a proud resident of Quincy House and economics concentrator. I say previous life because similar to how I am no longer in Quincy House, I know absolutely nothing about the economy, which sucks at a time like this. It has been an honor to serve as your first marshal throughout senior year and the 2 subsequent years, which I did not expect when I signed up for this volunteer commitment. But truly, it is my deep, deep honor to finally say, welcome to graduation, class of 2020. After 2 years and a best that we could do virtual celebration, the day is here when we gather with almost 90% of the OG class of COVID on this unique class day, along with a special guest. Hey, Ashton! With this, I'd like to address the real reason that we are here, so Harvard can finally get their donations. I mean, to celebrate each other and our journeys to, at, and after Harvard. In doing so, I want to thank everyone who helped us get here, our fighter Tom Dingman, the HAA, and especially who has become my friend and email pen pal John Prince, the Harvard faculty and community, my fellow marshals, and of course, our families from all over the world who waited a long time to see this day. Hey. The past 2 years have been an oxymoronic mix of inaction and chaos. We went from being sad we were kicked off campus to happy we weren't 2021 real quick. We went from asking, could things get any worse, to saying, this is worse. More to come on that later. Although we didn't really have a choice, the fact that we made it is itself an accomplishment. We are here now, and COVID is finally over, I guess now, yay! Just kidding, the only thing we're super spreading is good vibes. We're back, some of us having glowed up, from who we were when we first stepped foot here in 2016. And in looking back, we recognize how far we've come, even if it doesn't feel like it. Though it often feels like we wasted away some of our golden years, which is true, ultimately being catapulted into emptiness brought us closer to something invaluable, our truth. We started to see ourselves outside of the noise, validation, accolades, titles, no longer driven by comparing ourselves and competing with ourselves. We were just people in a pandemic. Unless you were the youngest inaugural poet, in which case you were not just a person in a pandemic. Yeah, give it up for her. I mean, we came to understand that we could no longer be defined by our shared experience as Harvard students. And in turn, we were forced to ask, who am I and what do I want? Again and again before the 5th walk of the day. And in interrogating ourselves, many of us realized that we were wrong. Previously swept by the Harvard inertia, propelling us to exposition or Y opportunity, many of us more recently felt the need to pivot. We quit or switched jobs. Turns out consulting minus the perks is just consulting. Tried something new, returned to a hobby or passion that we didn't think was useful here. Went somewhere we never saw ourselves, moved, made new friends, searched for who we are if not productive. And even still, some of us went to med school. And then some of us decided to chill, which is also probably important. We had to ask ourselves what our dance looked like when truly no one was watching. Unless you're one of the 10 people here who blew up on TikTok, we saw the dancing. For me, this time has pushed me to commit myself to fulfilling my childhood dream of moving to LA and making it stupid. And it's brought me joy and enthusiasm to see what it has brought you all to do. Whether it be through intimate conversations or even on social media, I've loved getting to see you all pop off in your own way, or plan the trajectory for the pop off. Most recently, this came in the form of talking with one of you. Now, I won't name names, Kaisin Kelly, who said something like, I couldn't stand the idea of showing up to graduation and having to talk about my boring job, so I quit. Boss. She's got another job, don't worry. But it can be hard to believe that coming closer to our truth will actually do anything. In many ways, the world somehow seems darker than it did before. Another and another shooting, another racially motivated attack, another act of violence, another war, another threat to our bodies, rights, and livelihoods. It often seems like things are just getting worse and will keep doing so. And no, being told we should practice gratitude doesn't really make it all better. So this moment of coming together comes at a pivotal time. Regardless of how our perspectives changed, at one point in time, each of us stood in this very yard and felt that no matter who we were, where we came from, here we could do anything. We could be anything. We believed in the world and our role in it, and we were mesmerized and inspired by being surrounded by people who did the same. And although times and we have changed since being here, I'm convinced that this aspect of Harvard, it being comprised of the most passionate hearts and minds in the world, those who will help us build a brighter future, remains true. And that gives me what I, and I think a lot of us need, hope. Because now more than ever, with the atrocities, tragedies, threats to our being, we need to act. And to act, we need to have hope. Not because doing so ensures a brighter future, but because not doing so definitely doesn't. So whether it's cultivated by the feeling of seeing your friends or enemies, knowing that today marks a new beginning, or physically being in the place where you had on those rose-colored glasses and maybe a Harvard lanyard, nerd, I hope we can give ourselves the permission, once again, to hope and to believe in pursuit and progress. But for now, tonight and tomorrow, we can let ourselves just remember and relive, aggressively ignore the question of, so what have you been up to? And most of all, pop off. Thank you, class of 2020. And now we have a little change in the program. It is my honor to bring up my friend and co-trivia host, Kyle Stanok.
Class of 2020 and family members, thank you all so much for coming here today and risking this weather, which, look at it. We have to celebrate those little wins. My name is Kyle Stanok, and I am one of your 2020 program marshals. Now, before I introduce the Class Day speaker, I want to circle back and thank Eric one more time. Because for the past 2 years, he's not only coordinated one, but 2 full graduations for us, a feat that no class marshal has ever done before. And that deserves another round of applause. Or you can buy him a Moscow Mule later. But now I'm incredibly excited to introduce our Class Day speaker. He's done what I think Harvard wants out of all of us, and that's to pursue our passions and continually explore areas of interest. The cherry on top, of course, is that we succeed while doing so. And that's just what the speaker has done. We all know him from his role on that '70s show as Michael, the cool guy that most of us probably wanted to be, but knowing myself and all of you, we were not in high school. Then he went on to star in hits like 2.5 Men, No Strings Attached, Just Married, and my personal favorite, Killers. The list could go on. Yet after all of this incredible success in the industry, where he was also a producer of many films and TV shows, he then built a resume outside of the industry equally as impressive. He founded Thorn, an anti-human trafficking foundation, in 2012, defending children from sexual abuse. He founded another foundation, A+, that focuses on positive journalism, which we all know we need a little bit more of today. And on top of that, he's become a successful venture capitalist, founding 2 firms and diving into the worlds of crypto, climate, and technology. And most recently, him and his wife Mila Kunis, who was born in Ukraine, mobilized a relief effort raising over $35 million for Ukrainian refugees. He's aspired to what many of us are hoping to do, challenge ourselves with new projects, and making a lasting impact. Harvard, please welcome Ashton Kutcher.
Hi. I just got told by someone that they apologize because they're socially awkward, and then I apologize because I'm socially awkward. So let's just be socially awkward together. Wow, this is a sexy-looking group of people, man. I once said that the sexiest thing in the world was being really, really ridiculously smart, and everything else is just crap. And if that's true, this is a really, really sexy group of people. Y'all graduated Harvard. I mean, if I graduated Harvard, I would tell every single person I ever met for the rest of my life that I graduated Harvard. And every person I know who's graduated Harvard has told me. So keep the tradition alive. Like, I'm serious. I'd be like Post Malone. I would tattoo graduated Harvard on my face and walk around with like that. But the biggest question is what's the next tattoo? So what's next? What do you tattoo next? That's the thing. That is the thing that you're most proud of accomplishing. And it's a question that I've never stopped asking myself because I've never figured out exactly what I want to be when I grow up. I know who I want to be, but I don't necessarily know what I want to be, and I'm not afraid to not know. I only have really one thing that I want to say to all of you, so I can keep this really short, but I'll say it, and then everything else is just commentary. You're not better than anyone. But no one is better than you. Before I dropped out of college at the University of Iowa, after 1 year, somebody actually prompted me and they said, write down on a piece of paper what you want to accomplish in life, and then just put it in your wallet and carry it around with you until you do. And so I wrote down that I want to move to Los Angeles and win an Oscar. One of those things has come true. And it's interesting, so as an industrious person that believes in vision boarding, I didn't just write down that I want to win an Oscar. I actually wrote the speech. Like when I did Dude, Where's My Car, I'm like, I'm writing the speech. Because Dude, Where's My Car is going to bring it home. They're going to understand. I'm going to be standing up there. And that didn't happen. And then I did another movie, and I revised the speech because there were some weird references in there from Dude, Where's My Car? And I was like, this isn't really fitting. And then I revised the speech again and again over time, and I've never given it. And frankly, I actually took the piece of paper out of my wallet and I tore it up because winning an Oscar was no longer one of these visionary accomplishments that I wanted. But I still always wanted to give this speech. So, you're about ready to get the revised speech. And I promise before I give it, I'm not gonna slap anyone. Okay, oh, by the way, I was there in like the second row. It was crazy, guys. I'm standing there, I watch this thing go down. Chris is looking at me, I'm looking at Chris. I'm like, is it going down right now? And I was a +1, so I was like, I can't really fight because I'll definitely get kicked out. It was crazy. Anyway, here comes the speech. Oh my God, I can't even believe I'm here. I can't, no, sit down, no, stop it. Meryl, you're always here. Oh my God. You guys aren't really, you were supposed to be standing and clapping, but whatever. Okay, so I want to thank my mom. Mom, you always showed me unconditional love. And I thought I knew what unconditional was, and then I had kids. And I realized that I didn't have to do anything, and you would love me. You loved me regardless of what I accomplished. You loved me regardless of my failures. And so instead of saying thank you, Mom, I want to say sorry. Because I never knew how much you loved me. You taught me that manners matter and that they're learned, and you can always continue to learn manners, and that there is an exponential return on energy when you use them. So thank you for that, Mom. I want to thank my dad. Dad, I'm still chasing you. I want to be just like you. You taught me patient love. You taught me that I own nothing in this world, that I simply get to manage the energy that I am given. And the only way to keep getting that energy and keep having the right to manage it is through appreciation. And that if I want more energy, I need to appreciate more. You taught me about hard work. You gave me the words that opportunity looks a lot like hard work, and I believed you, and you were right. You taught me that when you do the thing that you love, you don't feel like you're working, but you told me there will be days when you do. There will be days, even when you're doing the thing that you love, that you cry, that you hurt, that you're exhausted, that you're tired, and you'll drive on. And the only difference between doing the thing that you love doing and the thing that you don't is that tomorrow, when you're doing the thing that you love, you'll show up and you'll do it again and you'll say that it was worth it. I want to thank my sister. Sis, you taught me about Jerry Garcia. And you told me that it's all good. And it was always all good. And you're right. But it's easier to be a pessimist than an optimist in this world. Because it seems like pessimists are more often right. Because we remember when bad things happen. And we remember, didn't somebody said that bad thing, and that person stands right up and takes credit for it. But optimists, like you, sis, you always said it's all good and it's gonna be all right. And most of the time it is. And we wouldn't be here if the optimists weren't right most of the time. Thank you, sis. And this is when the music starts playing. And I'm like, no, I'm not done. I'm gonna keep going. And they're like, no, seriously, we're gonna go to commercial. I'm like, it's cool, they'll watch it on YouTube. I'm not leaving the stage. I wanna thank my brother. My brother was born with cerebral palsy. He's my twin brother. He had a heart transplant when we were 13 years old. And you taught me that while we're all created equal, our circumstances can be extraordinarily unequal. But you taught me that the obstacles that you face are your teachers, and that life is the classroom. My brother, you taught me that in no circumstance am I a me. I am always a we. And you said some of the most vital words I've ever heard to me. You said, every time that you feel sorry for me, you make me less. You looked me in the eye and you said, this is the only life that I will ever know, so don't make it less than yours. My brother, I admire you. I'm here because of you. I stand with you, and we'll face every challenge together. I want to thank the Academy. This is my trophy. You gave it to me. You bestowed it upon me. But that's not why I want to thank you. I want to thank you because that you taught me that external validation from some organization, no matter how prestigious it is, does not fill me up. It will never fill me up. The only validation that I get in my life is from the exhaustion of my efforts towards my goal. And the only one that can validate me is me. So thank you, Academy, for teaching me this lesson and allowing me to let this go as one of my goals. I want to thank my wife. You taught me that having one great friend in this world is more valuable than having hundreds of good friends. You taught me to not be good at things I don't like doing. You taught me to be what I am capable of. No more or no less. Just be that. And you taught me that at the end of my days, no one's gonna look at me and say, why weren't you like this person, that person, or the other person? But someone might look at me and say, why weren't you all that you could be? I want to thank my fellow nominees. That's all of you. I learn from you. I feel from you. I dream with you. I build with you. I get to surround myself with you, and you are the people I admire. It's you that gives me hope when children are taking their last breaths in classrooms, where they're learning about a reignition of a Cold War, while the earth is on fire because of man-made heat. It is you that gives me conviction that equality can exist, that we can close an economic wage gap, while our representatives hand out checks to buy our allegiance. It is you that emboldens me to believe that she will always have a choice. Today, I have the great honor to stand in front of you. But from my perspective, I stand with you. I stand among you. Because I am not better than you. And you are not better than me. But we can be better. We can do better. And we can build better together. 2020, we got this. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashton, for the inspiring speech and for celebrating the commencement of Class of 2020 with us. My name is Chungyeon Park, and I'm one of the program marshals. I'm excited to introduce the next speaker, Olivia Nie, who is our Harvard orator. Olivia is a proud Canadian from Toronto and was a resident of Courier House. She concentrated in government and has amazing talents in photography, art, and fashion. She's a very thoughtful and kind person, and I'm so proud to call her my friend. Please join me in welcoming Olivia to the stage.
I've always been fascinated by the world around me and the people that populate it. As a child, I was enthralled by any book, any documentary, newsreel, anything that could reveal a new part of the mysterious and expansive world that we lived in. I used to devour articles in National Geographic about short-horned lizards, and I remember even being captivated by news features on the thriving art community in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It wasn't enough for me, however, to simply absorb all this. I had a big green binder in which I transcribed everything I learned, compiling my own scattered anthology of worldly knowledge. One of my favorite books to transcribe from was The Century, a tome of 20th century history presented through the eyes of ordinary people. Its pages offered snapshots into immigrant stories amidst the Los Angeles riots. They taught me about sacrifice after the 1929 stock market crash and loss during the AIDS crisis. These stories were heavy, and the nuances were often hard to understand at that age. But one thing was clear to me. They took place in a world that was ever-changing, scary, beautiful, and very unpredictable. My curiosity for the world has stayed with me into adulthood. Perhaps unsurprisingly, I studied government at Harvard. And during this time, so many new windows into the world were opened to me, and I stepped into countless different shoes through space and time. The little girl with the big green binder would have been astounded by the vastness of knowledge that she would come to explore. At Harvard, I analyzed forbidden romance literature from modern China. I explored policies addressing environmental racism and conducted several of my own independent studies in sustainability in the luxury fashion industry. Instead of simply recording stories, I could now weave the lessons and the knowledge that I accumulated into my own projects. In my 4 years here, Harvard constantly urged me to develop my own opinions on these experiences and lessons, and to think deeply about the analytical processes that it took for me to get there. I was taught to examine, formulate, and extract using frameworks and lenses that completely changed the way I intake knowledge. Harvard also, however, completely changed the way I intake emotions and experiences. In the same way Harvard has urged me to look deeper into my intellectual pursuits, it has made me acutely aware and more keenly introspective about my experiences, feelings, and values. When a tutor stays with you for hours at HUHS or you're not alone, you have a model for selflessness. When you see an old friend from across the yard and you see a smile start to come across their face and you feel your own face start to smile. You're reminded of how great it is to be connected with one another in fellowship. When you come back home to Courier after a long day and the dining hall is still open, that's gratitude. Our lives are constantly filled with moments like these. And though small, they are poignant in molding our characters and principles. Now, the development of values and the awareness of deep-rooted feelings are obviously not singularly born of the Harvard experience. All of us went into college as vessels sculpted and forged by our families and local communities. Tenacity and diligence were values that I saw all my life through my parents, who left China with almost nothing and built a life in Canada from the ground up despite having earned years of degrees back in their homeland. Faith is something that I constantly have to strengthen every time I witness or experience instability and injustice in the communities dear to me. We all brought life stories and values into college, and since leaving, we've continued to be shaped by life after Harvard. And this is incredibly important to remember because, like we often say here, Harvard is a bubble. Harvard is a safe place for us to pursue our passions without fear of prosecution, a place that allows us to comfortably test run and prep for the careers that we've all begun now. It's a place that lets us practice how to occupy uncomfortable spaces and often pushed us to and past our limits in preparation for life ahead. Before Harvard, I never thought that I could vehemently disagree with someone and still be their best friend. I also never knew how fast I could run to catch the 10:30 quad shuttle for my 10:30 class, having just rolled out of bed 10 minutes before. I'm thankful for all of these character-shaping experiences and for the opportunity to have made mistakes, learned and grown in a space like Harvard's. But Harvard is a place that automatically bestows a level of privilege to any who have access to it. And the world we live in is not nearly as safe or as comfortable or privileged as the Harvard bubble. As we've all witnessed over our lifetimes and certainly over the last 2 years, there are an incalculable number of events that this institution could have never fully prepared us for. Harvard, much like the books and documentaries and news features that I've always loved, can only take us so far on its own. Class of 2020, I may be biased, but I believe we are a very special group of people. With the era of COVID joining us at a crucial point in our lives, it was amazing to see my peers power through a difficult final semester and into the first years of a working world that no one has navigated quite like this before. In present time, however, we still face a world that is plagued by past wrongdoings, present fears, and future uncertainties. It can be tiring and daunting to even think about how or when or where to devote our energy and time. But remember that every one of us and every one of our lives is a legacy in the making, and that we all have the tools we need to make the world a better place. It's a bit cliche, I know, but hear me out. We have had the unique opportunity to live and study at one of the world's most resourceful, best institutions, and it would be irresponsible to ignore what Harvard has given each and every one of us. Scholarly journals and articles have their limits, but they are nevertheless indispensable. When combined with the unique lived experiences, communities, and values that we each hold dear, we end up with a toolkit that can truly change the world. I know we all have personal stories that reflect the brokenness of this world, and we all know this world needs a whole lot of repairing. But I'm hopeful. I have already witnessed so much integrity and resolve among all of you in the last 2 years in truly every industry and space, in purposeful ways both big and small. And I am frankly just so proud to be a part of this graduating class. I want to leave you with just one more thing to remember. The feelings we feel and the lessons we learn from seemingly little things make minor but meaningful etches into our characters and values. They teach us to be caring, empathetic, and attentive to the people and environments around us. They lay the groundwork for further experiences and knowledge that will ultimately shape us into the leaders this world needs. Like countless people over centuries and places, it is ordinary and yet extraordinary people like us that have set the foundation for the lessons of tomorrow. The little girl who loved compiling the world into her big green binder will always be a part of me. But I know now that I also have a responsibility that I hope you'll all pledge to share with me. And that is to live our lives as models for posterity in all the little and big things we do, in all the myriad spheres that we occupy. I hope that someday my kids and grandkids will have their own versions of a big green binder that they can channel their passions and imaginations in. But more than that, I hope that they will get to live in and be inspired by a world that we, the class of 2020, will have changed for the better. Thank you and congratulations.
Good evening, class of 2020, friends and family. My name is Maureen Tang, and I'm a program marshal of the 2020 class committee. I'm also a former resident of Cabot House.
And my name is Ramin Rana. I am also one of your program marshals for the class of 2020 and a former resident of Quincy House. And together, we are Ramin and Maureen. Sorry, we have always wanted to do that. So we're so excited to be here with you all to, celebrate the beauty of being with friends and family, the beauty of tradition, the beauty of nostalgia, and the beauty of Ashton Kutcher.
You might remember us being on your TV screens 2 years ago. We're really sorry if we didn't make you laugh then, but our next speaker certainly will. Tonight, we have the pleasure of introducing our Ivy Orator, Austin Lynch. If there's one thing we can confidently say about Austin, it's that he's put passion into every single thing he did during his time at Harvard. Austin was a former resident of Currier House and was also co-chair for Currier's HOCO, fostering community and spearheading house culture. Austin was also involved with the Harvard Gin and Tonics a cappella group as a member, business manager, and executive producer.
So at Cabot Cafe, some say you come for coffee, stay for community, but some others might say you come for coffee, but you stay for Austin. As he was a superstar barista with the trademarked drink, the Bedtime Story Steamer. His friend, Brendan Rodriguez, put it best when he said that, Austin is one of those rare people that could make you smile just from being in the room, with joy that is unrivaled, kindness that is immeasurable, and also interests that include running, IPAs, and very tight pants. So, this proud South Dakotan, he's put a smile on the faces of so many people during his time at Harvard and beyond. And he's sure to do that for all of you tonight as well. So, without further ado, please give a warm welcome to your 2020 Ivy Orator, Austin Lynch.
Actually, I hope you don't mind. Just one quick thing. For luck. One of the many things you learn at Harvard. Greetings, class of 2020. It is I, the ghost of commencement past. and welcome to my TED Talk on how to lose an audience. Thank you all for keeping your email addresses current in the alumni database to continue receiving official university communications. You know, I wasn't sure how many of you were actually going to make it through to hear this, but I am pleased. It looks like you are all able to make it up from New York. You know, I have to imagine that the Northeast Regional Amtrak was like the reunion before the reunion. I actually thought about heading down just so I could join in the Phi Di exodus, but, you know, let's be honest. If you've been making Wall Street money the last 2 years, you probably just chartered a plane to avoid the proletariat. And hey, listen, good for you. I'm jealous, to be honest. I would love to catch flights, not feelings, you know? But seriously, where do we even begin? Most commencement speeches rehash 4 years, but now we've got 6 to talk about. Let's see. The last time that we were all here, it was pandemic pandemonium! Where were you on Tuesday, March 10th, 2020? The week of Friday the 13th? Does anyone remember that? It was an historic moment. If I recall, the first known usage of the phrase, out of an abundance of caution. King Larry II issued his email edict declaring to all of us, "You gotta go." And at that moment, we realized that was our senior week. The classes that weren't outright canceled, we just skipped. You know, it was very similar to Ferris Bueller's Day Off, except one small difference. It was a campus of Harvard students all playing truant. And I'm sorry to all the parents out there looking at our student loan balances like, and you what? You didn't even go to class? Like, no, we did. I mean, most of the time. We never went to gen eds, but otherwise we did all right. I still remember actually the exact moment that the fear of the pandemic really took hold for me. It wasn't the talking heads or the financial analysts. First pandemic in 100 years? No, true terror was watching all of you Phi Beta Kappa Summas running through Harvard Yard like, woo, spring break! That's when I knew it was truly the end of days. But we had a good reason. We did. We had to cram in all those Harvard senior rites of passage before we all got evicted. We quickly printed what we had of our senior theses. The title page. On that fancy paper, you know, that 100% cotton, heavy cardstock, off-white. Oh, and those sleek black thesis binders. That's the stuff. And underneath that lone title page, just a big old pile of blank papers so it looked legit. I remember some of you walking through Harvard Yard like you just written a dissertation on the entirety of human knowledge. But all in good fun, though. All in good fun. I mean, we had to get those quintessential pictures on Widener's steps, popping bottles of champagne and promptly getting reprimanded by Hup D for having alcohol in the yard. Like, hey, you should be drinking, but take it somewhere else, you know? But we had to risk it for the biscuit. The biscuit being your immortal Instagram post finally getting to use the caption, what, like it's hard? But just like those draft theses, we had a name for what was going on. We had an idea of what it might mean, but there was so much left to be written. So many unforeseen challenges, so many questions. The most important question I recall being, well, what are we going to do with the rest of our 2020 social budgets? And I think you all remember the answer. It was a 3-day lineup of clandestine ragers of 25 people or fewer, the likes of which that this campus has never seen before and, safe to say, will never see again. We took a line from Plato's Republic to heart. Necessity is the mother of invention. I think it's safe to say we Ben Franklin the hell out of it. What's sublime beauty? From such pain and frustration, an unraveling of the social fabric of our campus. In the midst of the craziness and the uncertainty, there was actually something truly wonderful and really messed up. It was kind of like a fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. That week, we watched the unspoken social codes and arbitrary boundaries that we had all come to know and just hate melt away. Suddenly, nobody cared who had stars upon theirs, you know? All the selectivity and the exclusivity and the formality, the punch, the pref, the comp, all the silliness and formality, they just defenestrated. You want to talk about unprecedented? That was actually something else. No, you didn't have to have aesthetic blend or a ticket to ride. You just had to be a card-carrying member of the COVID class. You can get into any shindig you darn well please. Anywhere across campus, the door was open. And we knew even then that we were in it together, even after we would be split apart. No, that was an organic togetherness, the likes of which no USGSO policy or House Formal could have ever manufactured. I mean, well, I guess if there were, yeah, hypothetically speaking, a House Formal that could have managed the feat, I mean, it's safe to say that it would have been Quad Formal. It was literally a big tent. Like, all you had to do was get your tickets early enough, which none of us ever did. You know what, though? Even before the pandemic, we were no strangers to hardship, were we, class? Does anyone remember the HUD strike? Yeah, the pandemic became the second time in less than 4 years when I survived for several months on nothing but peanut butter and turkey sandwiches. Anything to avoid tabbouleh salad. Ingredients, tabbouleh? And that was just the tip of the Annenberg. No, there was the 2016 election, losing the winning streak against Yale before we even really knew that the game was a thing. Yardfest with Tostito. The continued insidious warming of our Earth, bringing back the mumps. And President Emerita Drew Gilpin Faust proving once and for all that you don't need to study economics to go to Goldman, although the Harvard thing does help. And that was all just our first year. Anyway, Stat 110, Carol Baskin? Oh, insurrection! And that pretty much brings us back to present day. You know, maybe it's just that stereotypical, sort of unfair, but sort of true, like Harvard brand main character syndrome that all of us have, right? Oh, come on, parents, you know, just a little bit, it's okay. I think a little is good. But seriously, doesn't it feel like underneath all of it, there should be some sort of didactic lesson here? You know, so what's the point of it all? I mean, we graduated from what US News 2022 Best Global University Rankings calls the most prestigious institution of higher learning on Earth. And we celebrated graduation in our kitchens. I mean, it's ironic, you know, it's ironic. Soon to receive your receipt in the mail. And it was like that, you know, and we laugh to soften the blows. We exploit the irony and the absurdity of it all so we can laugh. And that's exactly what we should do. But we also want to acknowledge the difficult and complicated reality of it, right? When we had to sit alone in our apartments, launching COVID careers, locking down grad degrees, whatever else you crazy people do, in our bedrooms, that irony can fester into cynicism after a while. And we threw up those walls so that every new tragedy that arrived on our doorstep, we could just point at it and go, called it. I knew that happened. Of course it happened to me. And after all we've been through, it is so easy to give in to the allure of disenchantment and disillusionment. But the outlook of a cynic is bleak. It's gray. They try to protect themselves from feeling the lowest of lows and in the process get rid of the chance to feel those highest highs. And to be honest, especially now, the world needs people like us to step up and create the change in this new opportunity that we have in a post-pandemic world. And we can't do that until we throw off that heavy cloak of resentment and finally shred those letters we wrote to Harvard administration because it was so unfair that we're the only ones being sent home. As it ends up, we were just ahead of flattening the curve. And the loss we've experienced and the pain we feel, they are all very real and should be recognized. But what will define us as a class is not what we have lost, but what we're going to do with the pandemic experience that we have gained, much to our chagrin. And I know you people. Resilience is in your bones and brilliance is at your fingertips. If you can survive the volatility of an ever-changing gen ed system and the seemingly random fluctuation of Harvard acronyms, I think you could do just about anything. And the snow of COVID winter is finally melting. We've got some spring cleaning to do. Each of you have an irreplaceable role to play in this society that we need to build together. Some of you will wield science to predict, to prevent, to treat and cure. Some of you will gild a better America, more honest with itself and more just for all of its citizens. Some of you will build a stronger economy that is equitable and honorable. Some of you will create art so we can process all of this and understand it and heal. And some of you will build immense personal wealth. But I know you will pay your fair share in taxes, and I thank you in advance. So let's enjoy the rest of our time together. Let's heal, let's move on. Let's use this fresh start and remember why we actually came here in the first place. After 2 long years of COVID, we finally get to commence. So let's begin. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Shout out to Austin for that incredible Ivy oration. I'm Carrington Walsh. I'm a proud Lowellian, former Prime Minister of the Harvard Canadian Club, and one of your 2020 class program marshals. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker, Alice Hill, AB 81 and PhD 91. Alice served as the president of the Harvard Alumni Association during our senior year. She started on the Harvard Alumni Association Board of Directors as a director for Australasia after serving as the president of the Harvard Club of Victoria. She has also served on the HAA Awards Committee and as vice president of university-wide alumni affairs with a focus on the engagement of graduate and professional school alumni. Alice now lives in Melbourne, Australia, but was raised in Inuvik, Canada, and if you know me, I love to introduce a good Canadian. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Alice.
I love the Canadian theme tonight. Thank you, Carrington, and thank you to the entire class committee for the extra lift you've done to keep this class together. It is really cool to be here in front of John Harvard, though I'm not quite sure about the perspective. Anyways, before I start, I'd like to shout out to a colleague of mine who's here tonight, Catherine Kennedy, Vice President of the Harvard Alumni Association from Salt Lake City, Utah, Lowell House and Matthews Hall, who's another 2020 mom. And so we have been feeling everything you guys have gone through. But on to the work here. So I'm from Melbourne in the state of Victoria, Australia. And I'm from Inuvik in the Northwest Territories of Canada. And I'm from Kirkland House. And I'm from Wigglesworth F22, over there behind Widener Library. And why am I telling you this? It's not just because I wanted to give a shout out to everyone in the class of 2020 that lived in Wigglesworth, although I want to do that too, so hello, Wigglesworth. I'm telling you this because by telling you where I'm from, I'm telling you about the places that have made me who I am. Place matters because our experience of place shapes us. Harvard is one of your places. Class of 2020, wherever you've come from, wherever you go, you're also from Harvard, and you will always belong to this community. I am your 2020 Harvard Alumni Association president. We were supposed to meet in person on May 28th, 2020. Things have been a little delayed, but we're finally here now. So, Wominjeka. In the language of the Kulin Nations of southeastern Australia, this means both welcome and come with purpose. We're certainly here with purpose. The purpose of this weekend is to welcome you back to Harvard and to welcome you to the Harvard alumni community and to make time and space to properly celebrate your accomplishments with your classmates and your families and your supporters. I can't even begin to convey how proud Harvard alumni are of you and what you did for Harvard and Cambridge and Boston in your home communities in March 2020. By dropping everything and leaving campus, you saved lives. But you did even more than that. While finishing your degrees online, you kept student-led organizations like the Phillips Brooks House Association, WERB, and the Crimson Operating. You mentored students whose elementary and high schools were closed, staged virtual voter registration drives, supported your families, fed medical workers, and more. You found jobs, you lost jobs, you found new jobs, and you've started graduate school. And now you're back together, and the vibe of this class is incredible. Now imagine how exciting it would be to have access to every class from every school that ever graduated from Harvard. Well, you already do. That's the Harvard Alumni Association, and you have been degree-holding members since May 2020. Wherever you go, there is a Harvard community that will welcome you unconditionally, both where you are and globally through your interests. There are many ways to connect, and nothing stops you from using all of them and then creating some of your own. You have your class and your Red Book. You can join your local Harvard Club, and if there isn't one where you are, you can create one. Been there and done that. The HAA shared interest groups have global memberships, and there are new ones created every year by alumni just like you. One of the newest SIGs is Harvard Alumni for Climate and the Environment, who have an extraordinary boot camp for climate activists. I've just joined a more established group, Harvardwood, after a colleague pointed out that you don't have to be in the entertainment industry to get the inside track at their events. There are dozens more, and the best place to start looking is on the Harvard Alumni Association website. You also have an opportunity and a responsibility as alumni to make Harvard a better place. Harvard isn't perfect, but we want it to be. Well, there are many ways to engage in this pursuit of perfection. The nomination and election of the Board of Overseers is something we all do together as alumni every year. The nomination forms are on the HA website for you to use. The nominating committee is elected by the board of the Harvard Alumni Association, and every year you get to vote for 6 of the nominated candidates. This alumni-led governance is part of Harvard's secret sauce, and it depends on your participation. And if one of your children decides to come to Harvard, you will have the surreal experience I'm having this weekend of celebrating with my son Hamish, his roommates Liz and Anna, and their families. Hey, Please tell your roommate Spencer that I am really disappointed not to see him, and I hope his ears are burning. It is your duty to give him such FOMO that he will turn up for your 5th reunion in 2025. In fact, this is a responsibility for all of you to make sure your classmates who aren't here this weekend do come back in 2025. It should be an easy sell. Reunions are less serious and even more fun than commencement. Fewer speeches, more parties. Hamish, thank you for sharing your Harvard ride with me and your father and brother. Your Canadian-Australian mother particularly loved the quirkiness of you acquiring both the titles and responsibilities of the King of French Canada and the Prime Minister of Oz. Now, I'd like to close with a quote from your commencement report Red Book. The Red Books are very old school. Actually, they are very, very old school. They date back to the 1840s. In a time when we are surrounded by ephemera, they are concrete and real. The books are a way to continue to get to know your classmates better and to travel through life with them. So please read your Red Books and be generous with your submissions. And a warning, if you haven't figured this out already, your Red Books will make you cry. I'd like to thank your classmate, Phil Noel from Rivière-du-Loup, Quebec, Canada, Leverett House, and Canada Hall, for his permission to quote from his entry about how regret is overrated. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with fantasizing on the branching of the tree of your life, on the other directions you could have taken, but somehow ended up not to. But it's also good to remember that you did well. Yes, you. And you over there, and also you, all the way over in the back. We all did well. There is no single good life. There is a plentiful of good lives. You're on the path to one, so keep marching ahead. You may sometimes wonder if it's the right one, and the answer will always be yes. Granted, there may be things you wish to improve or change, but that doesn't diminish the fundamental quality of the life you're living. It's the good life for you, because it's the one a myriad of subtle forces colliding together like molecules gently nudged you towards. You took your values, interests, aspirations, and grit, and used them to shape all those forces in a way that no one else but you could have. You made it yours. Thank you, Phil. Speaking on behalf of the 400,000 Harvard alumni around the world, we are proud of you and your good lives. You've made Harvard yours. Thank you.
Good evening, class of 2020. My name is Constance Bourguignon, and I'm your class committee treasurer.
Hi everyone, I'm Ursula Hisham, and a former resident of Leverett House and your class of 2020 program marshal.
Tonight, it is our distinct honor to introduce the long overdue recipients of the Richard Glover and Henry Russell Ames Memorial Award. The class of 2020 comprises countless individuals who have dedicated themselves to serving and changing the lives of others at Harvard and beyond. But the great paradox of service is that these individuals and their inspiring efforts often go unacknowledged by our broader communities. As such, the purpose and the spirit of the Ames Award is to finally shine a light on these leaders, to honor two unsung heroes of the class of 2020. On June 19th, 1935, Richard Glover Ames and Henry Russell Ames brothers and Harvard students, gave their lives to save their father, who was washed overboard during a storm off the coast of Newfoundland. Every year since, the Ames Award has been given in their memory to recognize 2 members of our class who have shown energy in helping others and who exhibit the same heroic character and inspiring leadership as the Ames brothers. The selection committee received a large number of nominations from faculty deans, tutors, coaches, and fellow students in the spring of 2020 when these selections were made.
I now have the incredible privilege and honor of introducing the first recipient of the Class of 2020 Ames Award. This awardee was a trailblazer in improving the health outcomes, clinical operations, and reach for student-run medical clinics around the world. As the only undergraduate on the board of the Harvard Medical School Collaborative Clinic, a patient advocate for Health Leads Massachusetts, a medical translator, a breast cancer researcher, and a clinical intern in Egypt, she pioneered major reforms which had tremendous impact on thousands of vulnerable patients, particularly concerning access to mental health and social services. With student-run clinics at Yale and across the country now following in her footsteps, she also inspired and empowered fellow Harvard students by founding the Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students and the Physicians of Color Shadowing Program, and in her role as a peer advising fellow. A fervent defender of diversity, they contributed to the Harvard Immigration and Law Clinic, Act on a Dream, and the SFFA versus Harvard case on affirmative action. While at Harvard, she also founded a mentorship program for low-income Muslim youth, organized a colossal protest against the 2017 Muslim ban, and successfully pushed for the creation of interfaith prayer spaces on campus, as well as for the appointment of a full-time Muslim chaplain at Harvard. While at school, hold up, she also volunteered for a few years at the Y2Y homeless shelter and the Cambridge Day Ram Hospice, and in her home state of Minnesota. She also lobbied with Latinx labor rights groups during school breaks for an increase in the minimum wage, and spearheaded a vaccination campaign during a measles outbreak in the Somali community. This recipient was nominated by peers who, unbeknownst to her at the time, worked with them when a fire had just burnt down their home. In their words, this laureate proved to be one of the most motivating and inspiring peers we have ever worked with, and their actions speak volumes about how true leadership should be embodied. Please join me in congratulating our first Ames Award recipient, Rewan Abdul Wahab. Rewan, I went through a lot of trouble to figure out how to pronounce your name right, but please stand up where you are so that we can all appreciate you better.
And now for our second recipient of the Class of 2020 Ames Award. This awardee's fierce dedication to medicine and advocacy work for children with chronic diseases and their families has positively impacted countless people within and far beyond the walls of Harvard. Inspired by their own families' experiences, this champion founded Siblings with a Mission, the first global nonprofit organization working to support siblings of patients with chronic conditions, whose contributions are often overlooked in care programs. The organization now supports over 500 siblings in 25 countries through yearly conferences, resources, and online community spaces. A relentless advocate, this recipient also co-created curriculums to teach healthcare providers across the United States about the sibling experience, curriculums which are now accessible to hospitals across the country and which they themselves presented in grand rounds at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital and the Massachusetts General Hospital. They sat on the board of the Mucopolysaccharidosis Society and the Sibling Leadership Network, in addition to holding leadership role in on-campus groups such as the Harvard Undergraduates Raising Autism Awareness, the Harvard Associations of Pediatrics PALS, and Compassionate Care, a program they founded, which invites patients, family members, and healthcare providers to campus to share their experiences with students. Having concentrated in molecular and cellular biology, with a secondary in anthropology, this awardee pursued both genetic medical research and anthropological studies on rare chronic illnesses. As the faculty deans of Dunster House wrote, behind their modest and reserved disposition, they exhibit the heroic character and the drive to make the world a more compassionate and welcoming place. You will be hard-pressed to find a more genuine, dedicated, or gracious person. Please join me in congratulating in absentia our second Ames Award recipient, Nathan Grant.
Congrats, Rowan and Nathan and all the Ames nominees. You guys are all superstars in our eyes. Hi, my name is Angelina Yee, and it's been a privilege to serve as your second class marshal. Thanks. It's an honor to give the closing remarks of the closing ceremony of the last 6 years of our lives. We have so much to go over, but luckily for you, my speech is capped at 2 minutes. To start, I wanted to acknowledge how unique this weekend really is for us. Unlike most graduations, we're not scared they'll take away our degrees if we misbehave, or sad that college is over. We're actually ecstatic to eat HUD's food and to sleep in twin-size beds without any air conditioning. So it's 9:30, and we have a lot to celebrate. We should celebrate this new sense of excitement and love we have for Harvard that I don't think most of us have felt since we got in 7 years ago. We should celebrate this new sense of purpose we've developed in the past 2 years as our lives have changed dramatically. We're no longer reacting, crying, to how the world is impacting us, but finally, we're impacting the world. And lastly, we should celebrate our gratitude, because I know the class of 2020 is so thankful for all the people that made Harvard home, and our friends and family back home who have been with us every step of the way. This is as much yours as it is ours. So, congrats to the class of 2020 from graduating from the best university in the entire world. And with that, I'd like to introduce the only people I'm more excited to listen to than Merrick Garland, our amazing class Otists. Please stand and join Jasper, Michael, Roshan, Nicholas, and Natty as they lead us in our class ode. Thanks for coming.
Fair Harvard, we part from thy jubilee throng until social distancing is o'er. We began mid-HUD strike, thought that'd be our last test. Then COVID brought our struggles more. But our class perseveres through meme, Zoom, good cheer, and friendships that kept us so warm. First class sent home, but we will not despair. 2 years may have passed, but we have returned from round the fast-changing world. Know that blocking remains, although genetics may change. We'll keep Harvard's time in our hearts. Let not difference divide or memories fade as we make our ways through space and time. Be the heralds of hope and the bearers of love, ever vaunted by college years' prime.
Have a good night.
Okay, it's done. So if you want to stay around, there will be some informal dancing, music, mingling. But otherwise, see you all tomorrow bright and early. Thank you.
If you wanna run away with me, I know a galaxy and I can take you for a ride. I had a premonition that we fell into a rhythm where the music don't stop for life. Glitter in the sky, glitter in my eyes, shining just the way I like. If you're feeling like you need a little bit of company, you met me at the perfect time. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you. Moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. I believe that you're for me. I feel it in our energy. I see it's written in the stars. We can go wherever, so let's do it now or never, baby. Nothing's ever too far. Glitter in the sky, glitter in our eyes, shining just the way we are. I feel like we're forever every time we get together, but whatever, let's get lost on Mars. You want me, I want you, baby. My sugar boo, I'm levitating. The Milky Way, we're renegading. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got you, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You, moonlight, you're my starlight. I need you all night. Come on, dance with me. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. So you can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm levitating. You can fly away with me tonight. So you can fly away with me tonight. Baby, let me take you for a ride. Yeah, 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 yeah. My love is like a rocket, watch it blast off. And I'm feeling so electric, dance on our off. And even if I wanted to, I can't stop. Yeah, 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 yeah. My love is like a rocket, watch it blast off. And I'm feeling so electric, dance my ass off. And even if I wanted to, I can't stop. Yeah, 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 yeah. Moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe, so clear. Look out. Pop, pop, it's showtime. 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 Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Downtown. Oh, they don't know. Downtown. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up. I'm wearing Cuban links. Yeah. Designer mix. Yeah. Inglewood's finest shoes. Whoop, whoop. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to give the color red the blues. Woo, I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air.
gangsters, bad bitches and your ugly old friends. I cannot preach, I cannot preach. I gotta show them how a pimp get it in. First, take your sip, do your dip, spend your money like money ain't shit. Ooh, ooh, we too fresh. Got to blame it on Jesus. Hashtag blessed. They ain't ready for me. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jocking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Hey girls, what y'all trying to do? What you trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Everywhere I go, they be like, oh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, oh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, oh, so bad. Now, watch me break it down. Like, you gotta go and get angry at all of my honesty. You know I try, but I don't do too well with apologies. I hope I don't run out of time, 'cause someone call a referee. 'Cause I just need one more shot, have forgiveness. I know you know that I made those mistakes maybe once or twice. And by once or twice, I mean maybe a couple of 100 times. So let me redeem on myself tonight. 'Cause I just need one more shot, second chances. Is it too late now to say sorry? 'Cause I'm missing more than just your body. Oh, is it too late now to say sorry? Yeah, I know that I let you down. Is it too late to say sorry now? I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I know that I let you down. Is it too late to say sorry now? I'm at a party I don't wanna be at, and I don't ever wear a suit and tie yet. Wondering if I can sneak out the back. Nobody's even looking me in my eyes. When you take my hand, finish my drink, say, shall we dance? Hell yeah. You know I love you, did I ever tell you? You make it better like that. Don't think I fit in at this party. Everyone's got so much to say. Yeah, I always feel like I'm nobody. Who wants to fit in anyway? 'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby, yeah. All the bad things disappear. You're making me feel that maybe I am somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. 'Cause I don't care as long as you just hold me near. You can take me anywhere. You're making me feel like I'm loved by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby, yeah. We at a party we don't wanna be at. Trying to talk but we can't hear ourselves. Pictureless, I'd rather kiss